Welcome sa E-SKUL ng Bayan. Andito ako para samahan kayong mag-review. Tara, aral!
Okay, let's start today. So, kung napanood niyo yung radical expressions na lesson before, medyo inulit ko lang to. Ang pangit lang ng organization ko last time. So, that's why I want to repeat. So, if feeling nyo, nakuha nyo naman before, you don't need to watch this. I have a question here. If you solve for x, given that x squared is equal to 25, okay, these are separate equations, ha? You have x squared is equal to 25 and x is equal to 25. Ang value ba ng x na makukuha mo are equal? So, that's something to think about habang nagdi-discuss tayo. Now, we know how to square a number, di ba? We know that 5 squared is equal to 5 times 5. It's equal to 25. Okay, we also know that negative 5 squared is equal to negative 5 times negative 5 is equal to 25. So, alam natin na if we have itong mga perfect square numbers, pwede siyang equal to 1 times 1, pwede rin equal to negative 1 times negative 1. Ganun din dito. Equal to sa 2 times 2, equal din siya sa negative 2 times negative 2. And so on. So, taking a square root is the opposite of squaring. So, if we say, what is a square root of 25? It could be positive 5 or negative 5. Okay? So, taking a square root of a number is the opposite of squaring. Magtataka kayo, ba't may positive and bakit may negative? So, let's say, i-rephrase natin yung question. If tinanong kayo na find a number whose square is 36, anong unang pumapasok na sagot? That number should be equal to 6. Okay? Pero yun lang ba yung possible answer? Kasi here, if you read this, find a number whose square, so you have a number x, whose square, so square of that, is equal to, is 36. Okay? So, ganyan yung equation mo. If you're gonna solve for x or for that number, you're going to take the square root of both sides. And kapag nagtitake ng square root of both sides ng ganito, hindi lang simply ganyan yung sagot. Dapat meron kang plus, minus. Okay? So, ang possible answers mo dito is not just 6, but 6 and negative 6. Okay? So, let's say, meron kang item sa exam that says, what is a square root of 36. So, kung choices mo lang ay okay. Your answer here is going to be negative 6. Okay, so, I doubt na may ganitong question per se, pero I'm just pointing this out para mag-gets niyo yung idea kung kailan ka may positive and negative na square root and kung kailan naman na positive lang yung square root mo. Okay? So when you say a square root, you're referring to general square root, which is this one. Okay? Ito yon. Or rather, di ba ito galing to sa x squared is equal to 36? Kasi yun yung sinasabi nito. Okay? Iba naman kapag ang tinatanong is, what is the square root of 36? And that, sa statement na yon, ang ginagamit is the. Okay, so, ano yung point ko? If meron kang square root na sign, for example, you have this one, okay? Pag i-evaluate mo yan, this one is always equal to 6. Okay? Always na non-negative yung root. Okay? So, ano yung pinagkaiba sa kanina? If you have x squared is equal to 36, Same na sa ginawa ko kanina. Take the square root of both sides. Okay? Kapag naman ang question lang is x is equal to 36, oops. Ano ba ang square root nito? That's just equal to 6. Okay? Posible ba ng x mo dito is equal to negative 6? Hindi, di ba? Kasi negative 6 is not equal to square root of 36. Dito naman, posible ba na negative 6? Yes, kasi if you have negative 6 squared, that's equal to 36 lang din. Okay, so sana nakukuha niyo yung difference nilang dalawa. Okay, usually, itong ganitong makikita mo would be kapag nagsosolve ka ng when you have equations. Ito kapag, well, this is an equation, pero in essence, meron ka lang expression na square root of 36. So dito usually kapag evaluating expressions, ito naman kapag when you're dealing with equations. Alam niyo naman yung difference between equations and expressions, di ba? Okay, so ang tawag natin dito, kapag meron kang square root na sign, or meron kang radical na sign, you're actually referring to the principal root. Okay? So take note guys, na kapag meron kang square root, technically, ang possible answers mo would be isang non-negative, or in short, positive, non-negative root, at isang negative root. Okay? Kapag naman principal root yung hinahanap, you're referring to the non-negative na root. Kaya always, positive lang siya. Like this one. X is equal to square root of 36. That's equal to 6. Because the square root of 36 is equal to 6. So, medyo nagmamatter yung article mo dyan. Dito, the. Dito, a. Okay. So, hindi naman to ganun ka, hindi naman kayo ititrick ng exam this way, pero this will help you understand kung bakit minsan, pag may square root ka, naglalagay ka ng plus minus, and minsan naman hindi. So, in short, kapag nanggaling ka sa ganito, x squared is equal to 36, mag-a-add ka ng plus minus. Kasi again, pwedeng positive yung 6, pwedeng negative. Dito, always lang positive. Okay? So, may questions ba about this one? So, sa context ng exam nyo, just be careful na kapag ang tanong is, what is the either principal root or square root of a certain number? Okay? The answer here, given na this is a real number, a real positive number, answer dito would be always a positive number. Kapag ang tanong naman is, what is a square root of a certain number? O kaya naman ang tanong is, find a number whose square is blank. Okay? Ang sagot mo dito could either be positive or negative. Okay? This is generally speaking lang. Okay? So, another way to think about it sa mga nalilito kung kailan may plus minus, if you have x squared is equal to 25, alam nating x is equal to plus minus 5. Okay. If we rewrite this one or rearrange it such that may 0 ka sa other side, you will have x squared minus 25 is equal to 0, right? Nag-subtract lang ako ng 25 from both sides, okay? X minus 25 is equal to 25 minus 25, that's 0. Okay? So, anong factors nito? We have x minus 5, x plus 5 is equal to 0. So, as you can see, para maging 0 to, x is either equal to 5 or x is equal to negative 5. Okay, so here you have x plus minus 5. So that's another way para maisip niyo yun. So, now let's talk about radical expressions in general. Okay, so if we have a radical expression, so basically, pag may radical expression ka lang naman, nag-represent ka ng nth root ng expression na nasa loob nun. So for example, ang common sa atin would be square root. Okay, so example, square root of x. This is a radical expression. Pero in general, we have ito yung sinasabi nating nth root. Okay, so ang common sa atin, second root, that would be square root. And third root would be yung cube root natin na tinatawag. Okay? And then yung radical expression mo can be expressed as an expression with rational or fractional exponent. Rational or fractional, ibig sabihin meron kang fraction of two integers. So for example, for the square root, okay, so usually kapag wala, may imaginary 1. Per this time, ang meron dito is 2. Okay? Pwede mo siyang i-express as a rational exponent. 1 over 2. Ito yung tinatawag natin na rational exponent or fractional exponent. Kapag cube root naman, we have x raised to 1/3. So in general, we have x raised to 1 over n. So just remember, ito yung tinatawag natin na index. Yung nasa loob ng radical sign natin would be a radicand. And then sa kanya namang expression with rational or fractional exponent, ito ang ating exponent. Okay, specifically, it's a fractional or rational. And ito naman yung ating base. Okay, so what if yung nasa loob niyan, meron ding exponent? Let's say we have x raised to a nth root. Kapag i-convert natin siya or i-express natin siya as an expression with a rational or fractional exponent, ito, magiging nasa taas or numerator, and ito namang index ang ating denominator. Okay? So, ang radicand mo dito is still this whole thing. Basta yung nasa loob ng radical sign. This is your index. Okay? Dito naman, ito lang yung base mo. Yung x lang. And this is your rational exponent. Okay? So, para lang clear tayo doon. Radicand. This is your base. This is your exponent. This one is your index. Okay? So, very important na marunong mag-convert from radical expression to an expression with rational exponent kasi your laws of exponents will still apply dito, regardless if integer or rational yung exponent mo. Okay? Mag-a-apply pa rin yung laws of exponents. Now, let's go to simplifying radical expressions or evaluating radical expressions. So, dito guys, wala kang equation, ha? You just have an expression. Okay. So, when we're simplifying radical expressions, kailangan nyo tong, well, isa ito sa mga kailangan nyo lang maalala. So, let's say, papakita ko na lang muna, if you have x, then the x squared value of that. Let's start with, puro lang muna square. Then, saka natin, gawin na any index or any exponent. If we have negative 5 here, ang x squared niya would be 25. Okay? So, ang square root ng x squared mo, or square root of negative 5 squared, that's equal to square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Okay? How about if we have negative 1? Square niyan would be 1. Negative 1 squared ang x, that's equal to square root of 1, 1. How about 0? Ang square ng 0 is just always 0. How about 2? Square ng 2 is 4. Okay? Ay, sorry. Okay. So, anong point dito? If you can notice, if we have this one, ang values natin dito is just the absolute value ng ating x. So, ibig sabihin, if we have for any value of x squared, square root of x squared, sorry, that's just equal to the absolute value of x. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, if makakita ka ng ganito, ang sagot mo dito is always positive. Kaya may absolute value. Kunwari, if we have, well, gaya na sa example, is this equal to negative 5? Hindi, di ba? This is equal to 5. So, dapat absolute value ng whatever is inside. Okay? So, kailangan nyo itong alala always. So, we have, sulat ko lang dito para naalala. Okay, remember yung power of a product rule ng laws of exponents natin. So, if we have a product, x, y, tapos may power siya, kaya power of a product, pwede natin itong i-distribute. Right? So, we will have x raised to m, y raised to n. So, similarly, ganun lang din kapag meron kang rational exponent. So, let's say you have xy raised to 1 over n. This is just equal to x raised to 1 over n times y raised to 1 over n. So, again, ano ito kapag sinulat natin in radical form? Or radical expression? That's just nth root of xy is equal to nth root of x times nth root of y. Okay? So, pag nagsisimplify tayo ng radical expressions, lalo na kung yung nasa loob mo or yung radicand mo is just a monomial, ganito lang yung ginagawa ng paulit-ulit. So, for example, if we have square root of 9x squared, okay, this is just equal to square root of 9 times square root of x squared. Okay, madali lang to. What's the square root of 9? That's equal to 3. How about this one? Square root of this, remember, is equal to absolute value of x. Okay? So, usually, actually, sa exam, baka hindi nyo lang napapansin, kapag may mga ganito ka, minsan may nakasabi that x is greater than 0. So, ibig sabihin nun, kapag x is greater than 0, sorry. Okay, so in general, ito yung sagot. Pero kunwari sa exam mo, may nakasulat na x is greater than 0, ibig sabihin, you can simplify this as 9, okay, is equal to 3x. Kasi nga, always naman ng positive yung x mo based sa given na yan or sa limitation na yan. Okay? So here, bakit importante? Let's say, hindi ito nakasulat. Walang nakasulat na x is greater than 0. Bakit importante yung absolute value of x? Kasi if mapapansin nyo, let's say, x is equal to negative 1. 9, negative 1 squared. So, ito, magiging square lang, that's equal to 3. Okay? So, how about if wala tong, okay, this is equal to 3. How about if 3x lang ilagay mo? So, 3x, that's equal to 3 times negative 1, that's equal to negative 3, which is not equal dito. Okay? So, importante yung absolute value of x. Though usually pag-exam may ganito naman. Pero in case na wala, at least you know that you have to put the absolute value of x. Ito lang yung aalalahanin niyo. Okay, so i-add natin dito if we have this. Let's look at another example. 16x raised to 4 y squared. Okay, so para mag-simplify ng ganito, in general, yung ginagawa mo lang is to find the factors ng radicand mo. Okay? Factors ng radicand mo na perfect square. Kasi yun yung gusto mo ilabas. Okay? So here, yung 16 is a perfect square. Ang x raised to 4 is a perfect square. Ang y raised to 4 is a perfect square. So actually, wala kang problema dito. So this is just equal to square root of 16 times square root of, sulat natin this way, times square root of y squared. Okay. Square of this is 4. Ito naman ang square niya is x squared. Ito naman ang square root nito is y. Okay, so this one is just equal to 4x squared y. So how about if the radicand is not a perfect square, unlike in this example? So let's say mag-start tayo with just an integer, 63. So yung options mo dito is to prime factor. Okay, pwede mong i-prime factor. This is equal to, let's say 63 divisible by 3, 21, 7, 3. So prime factor, 3 times 3 times 7. So we know na meron tayong 3 squared times 7. Then, pwede natin itong ilabas kasi perfect square siya. So that's equal to 3 square root of 7. Okay, another way naman, kapag alam mo na agad kung ano yung isa sa mga factors niya na perfect square, in this case, I know that this is equal to 9 times 7. So alam mo may square root ang 9, pwede mo siyang ilabas, square root of 7. Okay? So itong prime factorization, ito yung kapag feeling mo, hindi ka familiar, hindi mo ma-figure out kung anong factor niya yung square, edi pwede mo siya i-prime factor, then makikita mo kung ano yung mga pwede mong i-pair up such that meron kang square of something. Okay? Then yun yung pwede mong ilabas. Square root of 2,000. Okay. So dito, alam ko ang factor niya yung 100, and 100 is a perfect square. So, igawin na natin siyang factor ng 120. Okay? Yung 20, factor siya ng 4 and 5. So we have 100 times 4 times 5. Okay? So, itong dalawa, perfect square, ito yung may iwan. Square root of 100, that's equal to 10. Square root of 4, that's equal to 2. Square root of 5. Or 20 square root of 5. Square root of 1,300. So again, pwede mo ilabas yung 100. That's 100 times 13. Yung 13, may other factors pa ba? Wala na. So alam mo, may iwan na yan. You have 10 square root of 13. Questions ba so far? Madali lang, di ba? Basta marunong mag-factor out ng mga bagay. Okay, how about this one? 49. Okay. So, alam natin, ito kapag, if we're looking for square root, so may imaginary 2 ka dyan, so i-check mo lang if yung exponents mo ay divisible by 2. And what you're gonna do is divide it by 2. Kapag divisible by 2, ibig sabihin pwede mo siyang ilabas lahat. Kapag hindi divisible by 2, like 7, ibig sabihin malalabas mo lang yung part niya na divisible by 2 and then yung remainder niya may iwan sa loob. So here we have 49 x raised to 10. So ibig sabihin meron kang, yung 49 malalabas mo, you have 7 x raised to 10, so divide mo lang siya by 2, you will have x raised to 5. How about this one? This is also equal to y raised to 6 times y raised to 1. Itong part na to, pwedeng ilabas. We will have y raised to 6 divided by 2, that's equal to 3. Ang may iwan is y raised to 1 or square root of y. Now, my question is, complete ba to? Or is this the general answer if you have this one? No, kasi, remember yung sinabi ko kanina, if may square root of something ka, dapat if you evaluate this given any x or y, the answer is always a positive number. Okay? So here, actually, since itong dalawang to is odd, you have to get the absolute value. Okay? So, kanina, sige, papakita ko muna kung bakit kailangan siya may absolute value. Let's write it this way. Yung 49, so 7 squared na yan, times, itong x raised to 10, that's equal to x raised to 5 squared. This one, hinati natin siya into y raised to 6 and y raised to 1. So we have y cubed squared times y raised to 1. Okay? This is equal to 7. Labas na natin yan. Ito, okay? Tama ba? By power of a product rule. Pwede mo itong gawin. So this one, recall itong nasa taas. If you have, ay, nag-glare pala. Okay. So same sila ng form. As you can see, square root of something squared. Kapag ganyan, ang sagot mo would be absolute value of x raised to 5. Ganito rin dito. May square ka, so absolute value of y cubed. Okay? Kaya ang final, since pareho naman sila naka-absolute value, pwede mo silang ipasok sa isang ano. So your answer here is going to be 7, absolute value of x raised to 5, y cubed, square root of y. Yung sinagutan natin earlier, if you, oo nga, mali pala ako kanina, hindi ko pala na-point out. Sorry, 16, x raised to 4, y squared. Okay? So here, sorry, let's repeat this example kasi mayroon akong hindi na-point out. So dapat similar din yon dito. Okay? You have to consider yung kailangan lagyan ng absolute value. But let's see if the problem says that x and y are both positive integers, then wala kang problema. So again, alam ko parang some of you parang hindi naman lalabas sa exam, but you need to understand these concepts, lalo na pag nagsasagot kayo ng limits or system of equations or kung ano-ano pa. So earlier we have this example, 16x raised to 4 y squared. Okay? Pwede natin siyang hatiin such that we have times okay? So remember here, meron kang absolute value of x squared. Here, meron kang absolute value of y. Okay? Kasi square root of y squared is y. Our final answer here is going to be, ito 4 lang rin yan. Hindi mo kailangan lagyan ng absolute value yan kasi 4 is always just 4. Yung x kasi variable yan. Okay, so you have to put absolute value. Pero take note that x squared. Kapag squared na siya, possible bang maging negative yung value nitong nasa loob ng absolute value? Itong x squared lang. Impossible na maging negative yung x squared mo. So you can just write x squared. How about this one? Yung y, pwede ba siyang maging negative? Pwede. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ilagay yung absolute value. Kasi, this could be a negative integer or pwede ring positive siya. So, dapat may absolute value dyan. Ito, since may square ka sa loob, and this tells us na kahit ano pa mga value ng x, kahit positive yung x mo or negative yung x mo dyan sa loob, it will always be positive yung buong x squared. So, redundant na maglagay ng absolute value. So, here we have, ito yung pinaka-simplified version nito.